Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week Wisdom and Legacy Building podcast. This is day 613 of our trek, and today is Philosophy Friday. Every Friday, we will ponder some of the basic truths and mysteries of life and how they can impact us in creating our living legacy. Currently, we are on an extended multi-week trek as we explore the teachings of some of my virtual mentors, such as Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, and Earl Nightingale. The core of our current trek is based primarily on Jim Rohn's book, The 5 Major Pieces to the Life Puzzle. I have learned a considerable amount from reading and rereading this book on my own trek of life, and I trust that you'll benefit from it also. Keeping in continuity with Wisdom Trek, I have adapted it to The 5 Trails on Life's Trek. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. Our granddaughter Hazel has shown marked improvement on how she feels this week. It is so great to see her smile and laugh again after several weeks of being really sullen. We do realize that she will have weeks that are good and other weeks that are not over the course of the next 2 years of treatment, but that also allows us to appreciate the good times that much more. There are many trails that we must trek throughout our lives, and many obstacles will be on our path. When we do experience difficult trails and seasons of life, it will help us to be grateful for the pleasant trails and seasons that will also come our way. As we remain in camp for a few weeks, we are sitting around the campfire and reviewing the 5 trails on life's trek that we have already completed. When we are faced with significant trials in our lives, we begin to realize that we cannot wait until tomorrow to make an impact on our world. We cannot waste our days, but we must live the rich and satisfying life each day. As we wrap up this series over the next few weeks, it is my desire to help you grasp this concept. So as we remain in our camp today, let us ponder and consider the 5 Trails on Life's Trek, Conclusion Part 2. As we continue our conclusion, as a reminder, our overall extended trek covered these 5 trails: philosophy, attitude, activity, results, and lifestyle. The first concept we want to look at is that today is yesterday's tomorrow. The problem with waiting until tomorrow is when it finally arrives, it is called today. Today is yesterday's tomorrow. The question is, what did you do with its opportunity? All too often you will waste your tomorrow as you wasted your yesterday, and as you are wasting today. All that could have been accomplished can so easily elude you, despite your intentions, until you inevitably discover that the things that may have been have slipped from your embrace with a single unused day at a time. You must frequently pause and remind yourself that the clock is ticking. The same clock that began to tick the moment you drew your first breath will also someday cease. Time is the great equalizer of all mankind. It has taken away the best and the worst of people without regard for either. Time provides you with an opportunity, but also demands a sense of urgency. We need to live each day as if it were the 2-minute warning. It is interesting to watch a football team on a Sunday afternoon. They invest the first 58 minutes routinely following the game plan that they thought would result in victory. Then something rather remarkable happens. An official walks onto the center of the field and announces what has become to be known as the 2-minute warning. This reminds me of when we were raising our children and we had to be in the van to go somewhere, particularly to church. I would walk down the hallway and announce in a firm but slightly raised voice, 2 minutes. The kids knew that they were to be in their seat in the van before those 2 minutes were over. Back to our football analogy, what happens in the following 120 seconds is frequently awesome. You will often witness more intensity, more cleverness, more expended energy, and more action compacted into those 2 final minutes than occurred in the previous 58. Why is that? A sudden awareness of the sense of imminent defeat and the birth of a new and sharpened sense of urgency. The team members know that the clock will show no favoritism. The clock merely does what a clock is supposed to do. They tick away the seconds until the game is finally over. The team that finds itself on the threshold of defeat could have shown an extraordinary level of ingenuity and intensity at any time throughout the game. The team had the potential and opportunity to outscore their opponents early in the game. But sometimes, despite their intentions, the players make only an average effort until it is too late. Sometimes the blowing of the whistle announcing the 2-minute warning is merely a formality signifying the probability of impending and irreversible defeat. And so it is with the individual human life. The seconds slip into minutes, and the minutes into hours, and the hours into days until you wake up one morning and discover that the moments of opportunity are gone. You spend your final years reliving dreams that might have been, regretting all that never was and now will never be. When the game of life is finally over, there is no second chance to correct your errors. The clock that is ticking away the moments of your life does not care about winners or losers. It does not care about who succeeds or who fails. It does not care about excuses, fairness, or equality. The only essential issue is how you played the game. Regardless of your current age, though, there must be a sense of urgency that should drive you into action now, at this very moment. You should be constantly aware of the value of each moment of your life. These moments may seem so insignificant that their loss often goes unnoticed. As of today, though, you still have all the time that you need. You still have lots of chances, lots of opportunities, lots of years to show what you can do. Most likely there will be a tomorrow, a next week, a next month, and a next year for you, but you are not guaranteed more than your next breath. Unless you develop a sense of urgency, those brief windows of time will sadly be wasted, as were the weeks and the months and the years before them. There is not an endless supply of time for you on this earth. You must make the most of the precious moments that you have today. And we all need to take to heart the letter that the Apostle Paul wrote in Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 through 17. So be careful how you live. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise. Make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. Don't act thoughtlessly, but understand what the Lord wants you to do. We are deliberately taking our trek slowly on the 5 trails on life's trek as we remain in camp for a few more weeks and ponder what we have explored. You learn that today is yesterday's tomorrow, and that you need to generate a sense of urgency because none of us know when we will receive our 2-minute warning for our life. On our next Philosophy Friday, we will continue to invest time back at camp around our campfire as we summarize the 5 trails on life's trek. And next week we will focus on that we need to learn to see the future in advance. So join us next Friday for these additional insights. I know that you'll find these insights interesting and profitable in living your rich and satisfying life. Our next trek is Motivation Monday, so encourage your friends and family to join us and to come along with us on Monday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks or read their associated journals, they are all available at wisdom-trek.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes or Google Play so that each day's trek will be downloaded to you automatically. And I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Monday.